Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. We're going to see how population statistics really confirm the Bible. This is a big proof to me about the Bible. Maybe it is to you, especially young earth creationism. So let's get started. We're in Dr. Arlo Molenpaul's book, page 57, on population statistics confirm the Bible. Now, some of the stats that I'm going to use today are dated. This book was made in 94? Let's see here, 98. So it is, as we speak, 27 years old. The Paul Pavloni did the stuff. He's very good at graphics and things. So thanks for being here. Check out our other videos and let's get started. So population statistics confirm the Bible. We use Dr. Molenpaul's book kind of as a discussion starter, read a few things, stats, that kind of thing, and discuss it a little bit. So where did I see that? So by the genealogies of Genesis 5, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 25, 28, 32, 7, 6, Sister Waldron would normally say, hike. The flood occurred approximately 1,656 years after the creation of Adam. And doing population statistics, you can actually, people living to be 900 years old and all of this, people lived to, there was about 8 billion people on earth at the time of the flood, somewhere in that. Now, he's got several charts that we can't look out here. So if Noah lived 4,500 years ago, how often would the population have to double to reach the present population? And how does this rate of growth compare to the current population growth rate? Now, he quotes a song in here. I remember singing the missionary song, 1,000 million souls are dying, 1,000 million souls for who the Savior died. Now, and this was in 1998. He said this song was written less than 100 years ago, and the population of the world was 1 billion. He says now it's approaching 6 billion. Of course, we know it's over 8 billion now. So by dividing 4,500 years by, that's the time of Noah, by 30 doublings, one can show that to achieve our present population, starting with 8 people 4,500 years ago, will require the population to double approximately once every 150 years. This requires only an average growth rate of 0.5% per year. Present, the population growth rate is more than this. It's estimated the population growth rate is 2% per year, and the population is doubling in less than 30 years. All those statistics, of course, coming from 1998, and most of that population growth is driven by Africa and Asia and Central and South America, of course, not the West, and then parts of Asia like Korea, Japan, and even China suffering population collapse, so to speak. But India, the global south, as it's called, really growing. So some of the stats I had read that because of war, because of pestilence, that every 100 years, the Earth's growth rate from the time of Noah would grow about 1% a century, and that would leave us right now at about 8 billion people. And so if you don't have those factors, if you say mankind is many more thousands of years old, 10,000s of years old, it's an impossibility, because we see from about 1900, 1 billion people on earth to now 8 billion, 125 years later. Well, this is exponentially going to make it to where I've read statistics like Walt Brown and some that you couldn't fit people in the number of planets in the solar system in a very short amount of time, or if the world was old. So population statistics really show me that the Bible's correct, that 8 people starting at the time of Noah would give us our current population, and that if you started a few thousand years before that, the world couldn't hold it. I'm going to read some more. So how many people would there have to be per square foot of land if the population had doubled 60 times since the time of Noah? Instead of like 30 times. So alternative to believing the Bible account of creation, the flood, and the history of man is to believe that man evolved millions of years ago through an evolutionary process. But what would be the population of the earth if man had been on earth much longer? And looking at the above table, one can see that for each 10 doublings of population, the population increases about 1,000 times. So one could do the chart where he's got it 30 times, it's 9.6 billion, 40 times, it's 9,600 billion, 50 times, it's 9,600,000 billion, 60 times, it's about 10 billion billion. So at an average doubling rate of 150 years per doubling, it would only take 9,000 years, or twice as long as the biblical account, to have far more people than would be possible. One can calculate the surface area of the earth to be about 200 million square miles. Since the earth's surface is about 70% covered by water, leaving about 30% land, there's approximately 60 million square miles of land. With 6 billion people, that's approximately 100 people per square mile. However, with 10 billion people, we'd have over, is that right? With 10 billion people, we would have over 100 billion people per square mile, or over 4,000 people per square foot. Oh, no. With 10 billion people, 10 billion people. I got what he's saying. So he's not using terms like quadrillion, septillions, and all of this. So in other words, in just 60 doublings of population, 9,000 years or so, we would have 1,000 people standing on top of the piece of paper you're reading. This would have been crushed a long time ago. So what he's saying is the earth, from the time of Noah, if you go back another 4,500 years, you'd have 10,000 people standing on this page because the world's population just couldn't take it. So I would say the population statistics are the friend of young earth creationism. And through catastrophism and various things, you could try to come up with ways saying population has not grown, because it's not just humans, it would be various other things as well. So I think the Bible's true. Population statistics are the Bible's friend for young earth creation. God bless you. We love you. I'm thankful we know God is creator. Bye-bye.